Many people are familiar with the cult NXIVM because of the popular HBO series The Vow, and today one of the whistleblowers is speaking out in our new series, Free from the Following. Take a look.
It's an organization that promises community and purpose.
ESP NXIVM is a methodology for enhancing human experience and behavior.
For 23 years, NXIVM founder Keith Raniere grows his vision by recruiting thousands of young people. He even attracts those in Hollywood, including actresses Allison Mack and Sarah Edmondson. Allison becomes a high-ranking member, while Sarah grows within the ranks, meeting and marrying a fellow member. But in 2017, Sarah publicly denounces the organization after she is branded with Keith's initials during a secret ceremony. Keith's web of lies and criminal behavior begins to unravel, and Sarah and her husband expose NXIVM as a cult.
This is the beginning of what is turning out to be one of the most sensational trials.
In 2019, Keith is convicted of federal crimes, including sex trafficking, racketeering, and conspiracy to commit forced labor. He is now serving 120 years in prison, while Allison Mack awaits sentencing.
Sarah Edmondson, welcome to DBL. Now, you rose in the ranks as a high-level coach, recruiter, and center owner. What was it like getting close to Keith Raniere's inner circle?
Well, I actually thought that I was in the inner circle, but truthfully, I wasn't. As you probably know now, I wasn't part of his harem, but I was a high-ranking member of the coaching ranks, and I thought that I knew what was going on behind closed doors. I was quite wrong about that, but I did feel like I had access to most of the higher ranks if I wanted to. We went on a trip to Fiji together once, so I felt like I was part of that group, but really I wasn't.
I got to be honest with you, when I first watched this documentary, I was like, this is something that I might be a part of. What draws people to NXIVM, and is there a test that you have to pass to get into NXIVM?
What I've since learned in my cult education that I've put myself through is that the most common trait with somebody who's in a cult is that they're open for some sort of change. I think people join for different reasons. I know for me, I was drawn to the community, to a belief system that seemed very positive and uplifting and supportive. There's no test. People are invited by friends or family. It's all word of mouth. And I think if you're an open person who wants to grow and work on their own self-development, you're a good target.
That makes sense. Now, I don't think I'm going on a limb by saying this. For me, the most shocking part of the documentary, and for most people to watch it, was when NXIVM was branding its members. What was the mark that women received, and how did they justify doing it to you?
Well, they justified it by lying. I was told that I was joining a secret sorority for women. I was told I was going through a very special initiation process where I'd be getting a beautiful tattoo. And they also lied about what the meaning of the symbol was. I was told it was a symbol for the 4 elements, and only found out by accident on my own that it was a symbol for Keith's initials and a monogram, a symbol that he designed and had planned to keep hidden from the women that he branded like cattle.
Sarah, was there a specific moment that happened that you remember that told you I need to get out or that you were in danger?
There were a few things that happened in a short period of time that accumulated, one of them being that the person who brought me into the secret sorority asked me for more collateral, including the deed to my home. And that was definitely one of the major red flags. It didn't totally wake me up, though. I think figuring out that the mark was actually Keith's initials and realizing that he was not who he said he was, but actually a sociopath and had been lying to us. And also finding out that women involved had been tasked to have sex with him, which didn't happen to me, but was enough just to blow the whole thing open.
So Sarah, you actually met your husband through NXIVM, and in fact, Keith Raniere wrote your vows and Allison Mack performed at your wedding. What's it like for you to look back and reflect on your wedding day?
In reflection, our wedding is mixed emotions for me. It was a beautiful wedding. It was a great party. But I also had a lot of NXIVM members there, many of whom are still loyal to Keith. So it's hard for me to look through my album and not have contact with people that were once really good friends of mine. And also people who I would open with welcome arms as soon as they're ready to admit who Keith really is, which may never happen.
All right, so Sarah, Keith Raniere got 120 years in prison. What do you think a suitable sentence would be for Allison Mack? She's awaiting sentencing right now.
I think it depends on how awake she is, and I think the judge will be able to determine that. And I truly trust this judge. He has a very good grasp on the coercive control that was used and the indoctrination that all the upper ranks used with these young women to coerce them to do things that none of us signed up to do. I mean, if I'd had this education, whether it's the vow or our podcast, I never would have joined. So I hope to offer that to other people, and they'll never have to go through what we went through.
What can our viewers expect from your podcast?
They can expect some very honest, authentic conversation between my husband and I as we figure our stuff out. We've gone through a lot of therapy and we've done a lot of cult education. And the best part about the podcast for us is we speak to experts, most of whom are actually cult survivors themselves.
We appreciate you for being so transparent and for advocating on behalf of others. Thank you so much for joining us today. DBL Nation, you can check out.
Thank you for having me.
It is our honor.
Anytime.
And to our viewers, you can check out new episodes of Sarah's podcast by visiting alittlebitculty.com. We appreciate you so much, Sarah. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for your kind questions.
We'll be right
Thank you,
back.
Sarah.